All right, Janine, it's one of my favorite topics are influencers. And I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm talking about, for example, when I speak, I talk a lot about my grandfather. Him, my grandmother, my mom, and my aunt came from Kyiv, Ukraine, emigrated to Canada years and years ago. And he used to take me for walks in the park when I was about five. And he spoke to everybody. And one day I asked him, I call him Zeta, I said, "How do you know all these people?" And and he pointed at somebody that was coming towards me. He said, "See that guy?" One day I smiled at him and he looked up at me and smiled at me and then came over and we started talking, became friends. And then someone else saw us smiling and laughing and came over to us. And so my 5-year-old brain, I remember it thinking, saying, life's going to be easy. I just have to smile at people. It made an impact on me that specific. And, you go get older and whatnot, and maybe you try to over expert it, but it really is as simple as just even a smile can influence people,
Absolutely.
at the right time. I'm sure you've had like a lot of influencers, but can you share two or three people that have been influential in your life?
Yes, absolutely. So actually the first influence that changed the way I see the world were the horses. Yeah, they definitely create a massive influence. Everything I know about people, I learned with the horses, and they are amazing teachers and in everything. But to be present, to control your thoughts, your emotions, a horse can feel your fear and can feel your confidence. So it's your job to work on being confident, especially if you are in front of a big obstacle. You have a big jump or a negative jump. I did beside the dressage also some jumping, and this is scary. And it's not that you don't go with the fear. Oh, go with fear. No, it's not like this. You go with presence. Yeah, we measured, and in fact, horses teach you to anticipate situations so you are in the right peace of mind because you are never ready, but you can be in the right peace of mind and you can be present and you can only achieve a result if you are present. So this is actually definitely the most impactful. But in the other hand, I of course I grew up in the men's world and I started to be mentored by businessmen in the 70s to 80s, which was always the age that I loved it because I love to hear the stories, but I love to learn the knowledge. And I had the luck that they always loved to explain me everything about business. But the business, it of course they can explain a lot about business, but they're always talking about people and about reactions and about behavior and about again presence or not. uh, but one of the men that actually brought a real impact on me was the mayor of the city that I've lived. I mean, my grandparents were living there when they came from Africa. And this mayor in Oeras in Portugal, it's a man that I admire so much because he picked a city which was a sleeping city beside Lisbon and with a lot of people living in very poor conditions and he transformed this in the best life quality, the capital with best life quality even in Europe. And his work, his dedication, his ideas of traveling the world and being bringing the best he saw into his village and working. It's a person that if you pass by in front of the city hall at 1 in the morning, you will see the light on his office. Yeah, but seeing him and looking that he knows the name of every employee of the city hall, and it's 1,500 people, that he knows the name of every tree in every street, and that he knows what's going on in all the villages that are part of his district, and the problems and the awareness, and going to the streets and talk to the people and listen and being innovative and not being afraid of being thinking big and making it even against all the odds. This actually was a person that really inspired me because I saw in him exactly. I never liked politicians very much, but he was what I think a politician should be, because it's someone that
Yeah.
really will, is someone who has the power to make a change, and he does it.
You
He
know,
changed the
it's
yeah,
it's interesting because politics can be positive. It doesn't have to be negative.
absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. And this is the problem, that the image we have about politicians, sometimes it's not the right one. And with this, a lot of people that could become great politicians run away from it because it's not really interesting. You have a lot of exposure. Financially, you earn much less than in a company. And seeing someone with a huge potential giving up all that to really build the city that it's an example in the whole Europe, and where it's a pleasure to live with so many opportunities, and everything he does. Even though I don't live there anymore, I still follow him and all, and I'm always so proud of everything he does there. That I think we need more people like this, with the vision, with the ambition, and with, not the fear of trying to make a difference. Just because no one ever saw it, it doesn't mean it cannot be done. And
Hey,
he really,
yeah, what do they say?
yeah.
Impossible
Yeah.
is really I'm possible.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So,
And he really has a vision, and I admire people who have a vision and do all the steps necessary to make that vision a reality.
well, he sounds like he's a leader who cares almost.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. He
Any
demonstrates that daily.
anybody else you want to highlight? One last person?
Well, there are so many famous people who,
They don't have to be famous.
yeah, but that are great examples that
Mhm.
I admire everybody who managed to not let their past dictate who they are. And this is very important. We are not what we lived, what we've been through. We are much more than this. And every person that doesn't allow that to stop them and to limitate them, that person has my admiration for sure.
No, that's great. You know what it teaches us also, whether it's the horses or the dogs or the people, is that we should be aware of is that we're influencing people all the time also. Sometimes we don't
Yeah.
even know. And it's our choice to be positive or negative, and it doesn't seem like that's a tough choice to make. But it's true. And it could be one smile to somebody you don't know at that one moment that makes a change. So thank you for sharing all that. That was really good.
This, if we have time, I would just tell you, we've been for dinner on Valentine's Day, my husband and the two kids. And we had a waiter who was really nice, friendly, older gentleman who really made our evening really nice. And he was super friendly with the kids. And not that it's not like this in Portugal, it is actually, but this man was really nice. And at the end, we paid, and when we left, my oldest son went and he did something he had never done before. He went and gave a handshake to this man, and without realizing, he was giving thank you for making our evening so pleasant, and that you manage to produce this in the child, and the child answers you back with this, because you see how we can feel, and I never seen them doing this before, so it was really, I was very proud. But I can see the impact of someone. You will not be remembered what you do, you will just be remembered how you make others feel and how they felt when they're with you, and this
That's
is,
that's
yeah.
amazing, and that's my favorite Maya Angelou quote.
Yes.
People will always remember how you made them feel,
Yeah.
above all. And if you don't make them feel, they're not going to remember anything else anyway. So, great story. Thank you so much for sharing that.